reckless, man.
Hey, shout out to the Cutthroats, man. They going crazy.
Man, these two demon brothers from KTS was real life problems out here. They kept their names hot over east, no cap. Dudes were straight vampires, heavy on it. It was like a routine for them, lurking back to back at midnight deep in they ops territory, just trying to catch someone lacking and clap them. Certified savages with hella bodies under their belt. Big rank in the trenches and heavily feared all over East. Before we tap in, shout out to the real ones. Hit that like button and keep rocking with me, gang. You locked in with Hood Edition. Today, we deep diving into the real story of KTS Von and Kts Dre. Dre, Landre Sylvester, aka Cutthroat Dreco, came first in 1990 on the east side of Chicago. 3 years later, Von, Devin Davis, aka Big Cutthroat the Smoker, touched down in 1993 on that same east side. Same mama, Lanya, but different pops. They grew up thick on 88th and Manistee with the rest of their brothers, Little Vinnie, KJ, Jeff, Big Earl, and the sisters, India and Big Ree. Now, unlike a lot of kids growing up in the trenches, Von and Dre actually had both parents in the crib while they were shorties. Von's pops was Big Vinnie. Folks get it twisted thinking he was a GD, but nah, Vinnie was a vice lord, a respected OG from EBC who was deep in these streets moving heavyweight. But Vinnie acted as a stepfather to Dre, raising him just like his own flesh and blood. Dre's pops is Chi-Town Jeff, a high-ranking, heavily respected GD from Lakeside who survived the game and finally stepped back. And the family tree was deep out here. These boys was even blood cousins with the infamous Zeko from 051 Young Money, a heavily respected member. Because of these different family ties, the brothers started out spit across different territories and repping different flags. Von, KJ, and Lil Vinnie held it down for EBC, E-Block Crazy, that vice lord set on 75th and Cottage. Meanwhile, Dre and his full brother Big Earl was over there claiming the Lakeside GD set. Big Earl was the one who showed Dre the ropes and taught him how to move out here. But they weren't enemies though, never that. Blood was just too thick. Dre and the rest of the Lakeside shorties went to Bradwell Elementary for middle school. Back then, it wasn't all blood and war. They was just shorties coming up in the neighborhood. But you could already see the difference in how the two brothers was wired. Von was actually an honor roll student. Smart kid, sharp with it, totally different from Dre. He had the brains to really make it out. Dre though? Dre was a straight loose screw at Bradwell. By his early teens, he was on a different type of timing, man. You look at him wrong in the hallways and it was hands immediately. Dude was constantly sparking brawls and wilding out over nothing. That savage energy didn't stay on the school grounds for long. It bled right out onto the blocks, and that hallway beef quickly turned into real-life legal trouble. By 2008, tragedy hit the house early. Dre's brother from his daddy's side, Jeff, aka K-Wax, a respected member from ABK, got caught up and lost his life. That was the first real loss that hit Dre right at home. Losing a real brother did something to him. People who was there said a switch flipped inside Dre after Jeff dropped. It was the turning point. That same year, September 27, 2008, the brothers took another hit. Their cousin Zeko from 051 Young Money, real name Isaiah Walker, got shot to death in a McDonald's parking lot during a wild altercation. The man who did it, Aki Walton from THF 46, tried to duck the city, but the feds snatched him up quick out in Indianapolis and got him booked for the body. While 051 started repping Zeko World in his honor, that loss completely tore Von up. He ended up getting Zeko World tatted right across his stomach so he'd never forget his cousin.
R.I.P. big cousin, man. Folks 6, got it yourself.
With Jeff gone, it was 4 brothers left. Von was the youngest, but the streets was calling all of them. Dre jumped off the porch first, way before Von. With their pops already being an OG in the game, It was just second nature for the brothers to slide down that same path. They was out here growing up with wild shorties like Rio G, Posto, Ronnie Mo, Pac Migo, Little Don, and Denny G. Things started shifting heavy. Von and his brother Lil Vinnie ended up flipping over to Lakeside to lock in with their brother Dre. 12 booked Dre 3 separate times in 2008, the very same year he lost his brother Jeff. He was getting knocked for gambling and caught 2 trespass charges. By 2009, Von couldn't stay on the porch no more. He jumped right into the field. By 2010, the 2 brothers was locked in together, hustling, robbing, and fighting every single day. So their names started making noise on the east side. To really understand how this bloody war cracked off between Lakeside and NLMB, you gotta understand the map and the history. Lakeside was born back in the 70s or 80s, taking their name because they were hugging the east of Lake Michigan. They held down the blocks from 75th to 81st, stretching from Saginaw all the way to the lake, with their historic core sitting right on 79th to 81st, from Saginaw to Manistee. As the GDs got massive in South Shore, Lakeside became one of the biggest growth and development structures to conquer land in the area. And they weren't just into it with the Stones, they were trading shots with Mexican mobs like the Latin Counts and the Latin Kings just to protect their turf. The OGs had already laid the foundation. Dre's older brother and mentor, Big Earl, was one of the founders of a deadly alliance between Lakeside, MMG, Marquette Manistee Gangsters, and DBG, D-Block Gangsters. A bond locked in since the mid-90s. By the time KTS Dre and Von were coming up, the younger generation used to call themselves the Lakers. Over the years, Lakeside would also become known as Lolo World and Posto Gang.
MMG shit, Lolo World, that is.
Right beside them was the Muskegon Boys Gang, aka MBG. It was basically the same hood, with barely a block separating them. Back in the day, Lakeside and the Muskegon Boys weren't enemies. They were actually cool, rocking with each other since those Myra Bradwell middle school days. Dre and Fabian, aka G-Fab, even sat in the same classrooms together. Hellrail from Lakeside used to be best friends with NLMB legends like G Fazo and white folks when they were shorties. But childhood bonds don't mean a damn thing when the streets split you up. See, Lakeside were the big homies because their older generation ran the area. Even though they shared the same blocks, the Muskegon boys were heavily outnumbered. At their peak from 2000 to 2006, the Muskegon boys only had about 20 members, while Lakeside was hundreds strong. That left the smaller set with little choice but to follow Lakeside's lead and act like send-offs, doing their dirty work while Lakeside took the money and kept the power. Muskegon wanted their own bag and their own turf, but Lakeside kept a chokehold on them. To show you how deep the disrespect went, Kts Dre even caught and beat up White Bread, the actual founder of the Muskegon Boys Gangster. Things officially crossed the line into bloodshed back in '06 when Lakeside members caught white folks from the Muskegon Boys and shot him up, leaving him fighting for his life with severe damage from those bullets. The tension completely boiled over on April 12, 2010. Somebody from Lakeside caught G Fazo from MBG lacking and clapped him. Fazo and his brother Fabian were the generals of that set. After Fazo dropped, Fabian tried to leave the streets behind, moving out of the Rock to play basketball over in Europe.
Playing with his brother. He comes baseline. Fabian Harris for the lead.
That left the Muskegon boys small, weak, and hunting for backing, and from that day on, MBG started repping Fazo land in his honor. To make a dog situation worse, white folks finally succumbed to those 2006 gunshot wounds the very next year in 2011. Muskegon was backed into a corner, but right next door in Terrortown was No Limit, a set of young renegade stones who stopped following the old head laws. Since Muskegon and No Limit had deep blood ties, Fearro's death changed everything. Muskegon clicked up heavy with him to form NLMB, No Limit Muskegon Boys, aka Never Leave My Brothers. From that day on, the war was officially on. Around 2010, 2011, the shorties from Lakeside stopped playing by the old head rules. Von and Dre stepped up and launched a whole new movement. They called it KTS, Kill to Survive, aka Cutthroat Gang. It wasn't just one block either. It was a heavy click up. You had the GDs from Lakeside and Pockettown linked with the 075 Vice Lords from EBC. But when you got that many wild shorties in one circle, internal beef is bound to crack it. The links split, and KTS turned into its own set. Today they stand on their own feet, holding down 75th and Cottage right alongside EBC, E-Block Crazy. Cutthroat's main ops are NLMB, ABK, and Sirconn City, but they had smoke with almost everybody, beefing with Drill City, Gotti World, MOB, Evans Mob, GMEBE, 800, 600, O-Block, and Paxtown. To stand their ground against all that pressure, they clicked up with Death Row, Pockettown, Black Mob, E-Block, and MTG 079.
Fuck Gotti World, fuck No Limit, fuck everybody.
But Von and Dre laid down a strict rule for the set. If you ain't out here putting in work and getting busy in the field, you cannot claim KTS.
Hey, if you claim KTS and your ass in the house, you was not in this field.
Yeah, that shit over with, man. You cutthroat and you ain't in the field. KTS, you ain't in the field, that shit over with, man.
You ain't cutthroat.
You ain't cutthroat no more.
They had steppers like Lil Don, Hell Rel, Big Mex, Ronnie Mo, and Killa Spook. You had Rio G, Lil Les's little brother from Pockettown, Denny G, Posto, Lil Vinnie, Royal, Rugamigo, Jerry, K-Dog, Glizzy, and of course Von and Dre, and hella other shooters who was already hot in the streets. April 9th, 2011. This is where the smoke gets real and the cutthroats allegedly catch their first body. Back then, they were heavily into it with a set called 8x13, aka Hottie Way. But a single hit changed that whole block's name forever. 23-year-old Michael Lee, aka Gotti, was sitting in a car on 55th and King Drive with the homie who didn't even run with the mobs. Gotti had a Taurus handgun tucked on him, but he never got the chance to pull it. Out of nowhere, a whip pulled up. KTS caught Gotti lacking and let it spray right into the whip. A single bullet caught Gotti right in the dome. His homie panicked, called up another friend, and they tried desperately to save him, but it was wrapped up. Gotti was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now the paperwork might say unconfirmed, but word on the streets is Kts Dre, KTS Von, and Killa Spook were all right there on that drill. They say this was Dre and Von's first official stamp in the field. Right after Gotti dropped, 8x13 flipped their name to Gotti World in his honor, but KTS didn't show no mercy. After the hit, they started mocking him heavy, screaming, "Don't go Gotti." KTS Von even went as far as printing the disrespect straight on the t-shirts just to taunt his ops. Von and Dre was already out here terrorizing Sirconn City and Gotti World after that Gotti hit, February 19, 2012. They was riding around with that infamous Tech 9, the same exact one KTS Von rapped about going crazy with. But on this night, Von and Dre wasn't sliding solo. They caught a beige whip with BD Ritchie and Mac Main, creeping deep into NLMB territory. A whole crowd of No Limit shorties was posted up right outside the liquor store on 79th and Essex. They was just chilling in their hood. The whip pulled up, windows rolled down, and they just started letting it spray with that tech. Total chaos. It was bullets flying everywhere, riddling the store, shattering the glass. 19-year-old Rock, a heavily loved shooter for No Limit, tried to make a break for the door, but they clapped him before he could even hit the handle. He dropped right there. Right beside him was 57-year-old Alamo. Now, his family said he was just an innocent father of 4, but the streets no different. Alamo was an OG teaching the shorties how to trap, how to slide, and how to tote pipes. He took multiple slugs to the chest and died on the spot. When the smoke cleared, it was a straight tragedy. Blood everywhere, bodies lying, 2 dead and 5 wounded. What a lot of people don't know is who else was in that crowd. G Herbo, G Fearro, and Lil Wet was right there in the line of fire. They all got hit but miraculously survived. Lil Wet took a nasty slug to the hip, and G Herbo got shot in his feet. That single night changed the map. To this day, Herbo still screams R.I.P. Alamo in his tracks. And for Jamal Harris, aka Rock, from that day on, 79th and Essex officially became Rock Block in his honor. And that was the first score the KTS brothers caught on NLMB.
Ain't finna do me like that. Unless I
Killers in the car.
we call it. Cut on now, squad.
No black shit.
You feel?
Got Jason.
Y'all know that.
Summer of 2012, and the east side was completely hot. But in July 2nd, 2012, Kts Dre put his next score on Drill City. He allegedly caught a member named Michi from Drill City lacking and let it spray. Public info on this hit is damn near non-existent, but Dre himself murked the rumors and confirmed the smoke on a live later on. He straight up told his fans that whatever he did to Drill City was the exact reason they had to run and click up heavy with NLMB just to survive the pressure. But when you live by the gun, you gotta expect bullets to fly back your way. Around that same wild summer, the ops finally caught up to Dre and tried to take his top off. He almost met the Grim Reaper that day, but a lucky break saved his life. He got grazed right in the head. That bullet tore him up, but he survived. Still, that shot permanently messed with his face, leaving a piece of the slug literally lodged inside the right side of his nose after it missed his eye. That's the real reason he walked around with that infamous lazy eye. He beat the odds, but the streets left a permanent mark on him.
Hey, look, y'all be making all them jokes, bro. Look at me, though, like in real life, bro. Snag a tooth, right? I got a missing tooth, and I got shot in my head. Left eye be loose as hell. Look at me, though. Don't cut the...
By late 2012, Von and Dre started taking it straight to the internet. They kicked off this wild video series on YouTube called No Lacking. The concept was simple, but pure disrespect. The brothers would record themselves with a pack of KTS shooters, heavily strapped, walking deep into op territory on foot, mocking them on camera, just lurking, trying to catch an op lacking.
No Lacking 3.0, man. We out here, man.
Yeah.
No Lacking 3.0.
Somebody set a time, bro.
What time is it, shorty?
It's 8:57, man.
8:57, so that's it.
That ain't shit, man. No Lacking 3.0, man. We at it again, man. We out here. See that? More black shit.
Lacking on that east side, get whacked. Lacking, get clapped.
Cut through! Front face on! Front face on! Motherfuckers running! You running? Hey, why y'all running? Oh! Look at them running! 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 They running!
No Lacking Part 2? No Lacking Part 2? Part 3?
They dropped Part 1 and Part 2, but October 24th, 2012, that's when they dropped No Lacking Part 3, the video that would go viral and change drill history forever. Von, Dre, Posto, Lil Don caught No Limit Kobe, Cairo, Moody, and other NLMB members lacking, right inside the McDonald's on 79th, deep on No Limit's territory. Right before they walked in, You can literally hear Dre telling the guys, "Get him outside, then I'ma pop."
So they going in McDonald's. What happened? Glass him, get him outside, then I'ma pop. You got that on you? Yeah, glass him, get him outside, then I'ma pop.
When they pushed up on him inside, Dre stepped right up to No Limit Cairo, trying to make him fold. He looked him dead in the eye and demanded, "Say F Rock."
Say fuck Rock, son. Say fuck Rock. What? Say it.
Cairo stood his ground and refused to disrespect his fallen homie. Right then, Dre cracked him with a heavy right hand, damn near breaking Cairo's jaw. Soon as KTS spilled out of the Mac, NLMB grabbed their switches and gave chase. A full-blown shootout erupted right there on 79th between Dre, Kobe, Posto, Moody, and Cairo.
We gotta get back to the hood, man.
Lead was flying everywhere. Posto took a slug straight to the arm, allegedly fired by Kobe, making the crew panic and book it back toward their hood. Except for Von. Von lived for the chaos. He was literally running, laughing, and recording the whole shootout on his phone like it was a game, completely unbothered that his team was seconds away from getting clapped.
We got tough!
That McDonald's tape haunted Cairo for years, with Von, Dre, and the fans constantly trolling him online. G Herbo even rapped about the video later on Back at It Part 3, spitting, "YouTube the No Lacking 3 video. Yeah, a few of them gone. All of them gone."
YouTube the No Lacking 3 video, yeah, a few of them gone.
That tape made KTS Dre and Von household names, way past the Chicago city limits. It was internet clout mixed with real-world grave digging, and it stamped the brothers as two of the most reckless over East had ever seen. 5 days, that's all it took. 5 days after that crazy Mac tape dropped, the East Side exploded. KTS wasn't just trolling online, they were trying to put names in the dirt. On October 29th, 2012, Dre and Mac Main from Lakeside linked up to slide for Posto getting hit at the McDonald's bangout. They caught No Limit Big Lo slipping right on the 79th and Escanaba. Big Los went out to grab a coffee and a newspaper, just a regular morning. But when he walked back up to his porch, Dre and Mac Main crept up from behind and let it spray, catching him heavy in his back before ghosting the scene on foot. Now Big Los was 33, a well-respected OG from NLMB and the father of Little Los from Drench Gang. His people claimed he was just a family man, but on 79th, he was still an active stamp for the set. His loss tore the hood apart. For years, the streets thought KTS Von and his brother KTS Vinnie did that drill. Wrong. CPD ended up picking up Big James from Bingo Block, and he started dropping names to 12, throwing dirt on Donnie, KTS Dre, and Mac Main. Dre and Mac Main got booked for the body in 2013, but they walked on a lack of evidence, even though a witness put them right at the scene. Then it gets weirder. In 2016, this dude Donnie from Bingo Block becomes a born-again Christian, walks into the station, and confesses to the whole thing. He claims he shot Big Los by mistake after his homie got hit on 81st, then dismantled the tool and buried it. But with no weapon and no physical proof, the state had to let him walk. Months later, Donnie got clapped right on 79th by NLMB. The crazy part? Lakeside and Bingo Block were already beefing. Bingo Block had just smoked Jap from Lakeside 2 years prior, so why were they sliding together? Either Dre and Mac Main had a personal tie to Donnie, or Donnie took a rap for a drill he didn't even do. Either way, 12 had Dre and Mac Main on camera near the scene, and they even bagged Dre's big brother, Big Earl, for the murder. But the state couldn't make it stick. No convictions. Just another cold morning over East, and another body added to the score. November 10th, 2012. Less than 2 weeks after Big Los was gone, NLMB was out spinning for blood. They caught a Lakeside member named Bud. Bud was KTS Dre's youngin', literally raised by Dre in the hood. Dre had mad love for the kid, but around 1 p.m., Bud made a fatal mistake.
Boy chasing it every day, and I got packs and whatever else you niggas want, man. Come down here. And stop shooting. Hey, wait. And stop shooting out cars, man. And my young niggas, they kill shit, man.
Drumming.
My young niggas be drilling, bro. Ain't no old heads out there, ain't none of that shit, man. Just me and my young niggas, man. My young niggas drilling, man.
Every day on the lake, fuck.
Stop shooting out cars. Stop doing drive-bys. This is not Grand Theft Auto, boy.
No limit, good crack.
And one more thing. You cannot be L's and you a hook. Stop repping L's if you a hook, man. That fight a long way, man. I don't know what it is, man.
He was caught walking dolo right on the 2600 block of East 79th. That is the dead heart of No Limit territory, just down the block from that same McDonald's bangout. Word on the street is Merch Money, Cairo, and Mad Max and Juvie were the ones out lurking that afternoon. 4 shooters crept up on Bud on the sidewalk and let it spray, catching him multiple times heavy in his chest before ghosting out. Bud was only 20 years old when he lost his life at Northwestern. Now 12 looked at Bud like just another stat, but the streets knew the real tragedy. Bud was laid back and mellow, but past trauma had messed with his mental. He was basically homeless, wandering the blocks every day, completely numb to the danger until the ops caught him slipping. This right here is the exact reason why Dre later caught Merch Money in the county jail and completely smashed him behind bars. The pain from losing his youngin' ran deep. At that time, KTS Von wasn't even focused on his music career. Bro was way too deep in the field. But on November 11, 2012, he decided to feed the streets anyway and dropped his track, No Love.
I don't got love for no op, nigga. Since I lost love, Paris has been fuck niggas.
About a week later, Von doubled down and dropped Turn Up. The crazy part is, bro was naturally talented with the mic, but he was born to be a gangster first. He just couldn't take this rap shit seriously when the trenches kept calling his name.
With an outpost, yeah, out top, these fuck niggas don't smoke dope, she fuck around with a hot shot.
April 4th, 2013. D'Angelo Simmons, aka Lolo from Lakeside, got caught lacking by 2 shooters. Lolo was heavily loved by the whole KTS and Lakeside, especially by Dre and Von. He was on 80 and Manistee around 6 p.m., walking right through his own hood with Mac Main when they got completely ambushed. The shooters crept up and started letting it spray. Mac Main caught one straight to the ankle, but Lolo caught the worst of it, a heavy shot directly to the stomach. 12 ended up bagging a dude named Aaron from No Limit 083 for the hit, but they couldn't make the charges stick. But the real tragedy of Lolo's story? It was the wicked luck he had after the smoke cleared. While Lolo was bleeding out, the ambulance rushed him toward the hospital, but on the way there, the engine completely died. The ambulance broke down right in the middle of the transport. His family claimed that breakdown cost him his life, but the medical reports laid out the brutal truth. Lolo was basically DOA. That bullet tore straight through his stomach, his liver, his pancreas, and his aorta before stopping in his back. He didn't stand a chance. Lolo's loss completely broke the set, and from that day on, Lakeside and KTS started repping Lolo World in his honor. Between 2013 and 2015, Kts Dre got booked hella times by 12. A direct result of him being heavily active and always outside putting in work. The state first tried to book him in June 2013 for the first-degree murder of Big Los. Dre ended up beating that body, but he didn't slow down for a second. By late 2013, 12 was sweating him heavy. In September alone, he got knocked twice, first for narcotics, then for disorderly conduct. 2 weeks later, in early October, he was right back in the county for reckless conduct. That's 3 bookings in a single month. In December 2014, he sat down on a robbery case, and the minute he tasted freedom, he went right back to the gunplay. On August 29, 2015, 12 caught him with a pipe, hitting him with a UUW charge that sat him down until 2016. Even behind the wall in the county, Dre was terrorizing the decks. But all these mugshots just prove one thing to the east side. Dre was never ducking no action. When he wasn't sitting in a cell, he was actively sliding with his brother Von and other KTS steppers. They were terrorizing multiple blocks at the exact same time, applying pressure directly to Drill City, NLMB, Sirconn, and Evans Mob. Ronnie Arthurs, aka Ronnie Mo, from Pockettown and KTS. Ronnie Mo was a real stepper, a certified demon out here, and he was locked in tight with KTS Von. They were like real deal brothers. But things went left out in Gary, Indiana in January 31, 2013. Ronnie Mo and two shorties hit a crib, but 12 caught them in the act. It turned into a high-speed chase, with the whip flying down the icy streets trying to duck the law. The driver lost control and wrapped the car straight into a tree. Ronnie Mo and 19-year-old Andre Carradine died right there on the scene. A 14-year-old youngin' named Shedevin Gibbs survived the impact but passed away later at Christ. Losing Mo completely broke Von's heart. He was already deep in the field, but losing his right-hand man to a bad crash changed him. To make sure he never forgot his homie, Von went out and got Ronnie Mo tatted right on his face. And from that day on, KTS and Lakeside started repping Mo Block in his honor.
Gang, out here.
Block shit, Mo block shit.
Tell them niggas come outside.
Pop out.
We out here. Tell niggas pop out.
May 2013, KTS Von was on a different level of savage. He was grieving his close homie Ronnie Mo heavy, and anyone talking crazy on his best friend's name automatically had a target on their head. Enter Fearro from Sirconn City. Now the media tried to paint Fearro like a typical kid who loved basketball and rapping, but the trenches knew his real resume. Bro was a certified stepper with blood on his hands. But he made the fatal mistake of dissing Ronnie Mo right after that tragic car crash. For Von, that made it deeply personal. On May 25, 2013, Fearro was taking the trash down to the alley in the 73rd and Dorchester because his 82-year-old adopted father couldn't make the walk. That's when the hit whip slid up. Von didn't just slide, he stood over him. He did him dirty, jumping out the whip and dumping 8 shots directly into Fearro's face. It was a demonic, gruesome drill that left him completely unrecognizable before the car ghosted into the dark. Fearro was pronounced dead at 9:30 p.m. If the drill itself wasn't diabolical enough, Von took the disrespect straight to the net with no remorse. He hopped on Twitter and instantly started mocking the dead man, tweeting out, "Fearro from Sirconn, new name, Fried Face." August 10th, 2013, 4 in the morning. The block was hot, but the vibe was high. Jacoby Heron, aka Kobe from NLMB, had just spent the night partying and shooting dice on 79th with G Herbo, Cairo, and the rest of NLMB. When the session broke up, the guys offered him a ride. Kobe declined, said he was good to walk the short distance home. He didn't make it 100 meters. Right outside that notorious McDonald's on 79th, the exact same spot that became famous on the net for no lacking, a hit car was already lurking. Rio from KTS and Pockettown was behind the wheel, tracking the target. In the seats were KTS Von, Posto, and Black Mob shooter shells. The second they caught Kobe lacking, Von started spraying from the whip, tearing into his body. Then Posto hopped out, stood over him, and put the final shots directly into his head. Herbo, Cairo, and the NLMB steppers heard the shots echo through the blocks and rushed to the scene with pipes drawn, ready to return fire. But the hit whip had already ghosted. Kobe was gone at 4:02 a.m. Von and shooter shells claimed to work. Kobe wasn't a killer, but he was a shooter, and he was very beloved by NLMB. His loss broke the set. He became an instant icon, prompting G Herbo to drop his most legendary project to date, Ballin' Like I'm Kobe. Late November 2013, After Kobe passed, NLMB was starving for the get back, and it came fast. On November 23rd, Tyshawn Anderson, aka Posto from KTS and Lakeside, had just touched down from the joint on November 18th.
Posto!
You gonna shut up or you going to jail? You don't got the friend. You been hollering the entire half time and over here. This gonna be you going to jail.
Bro enjoyed exactly 5 days of freedom before his clock ran out.
Y'all know who it is, Mr. Posto. On back, MMG shit. Lolo world. Black Hills. Look her. I ain't never heard of you until you start rapping, shorty. I ain't never heard of you until you start rapping, shorty.
Around 11:05 p.m. on a freezing Saturday night, Posto was catching his bearings inside a building hallway on the 2700 block of East 81st Street, right around the corner from his crib. Now, the streets still debate the setup. Some say it was an internal play, a drug deal gone wrong with no ops involved. But the heavy word on the street points straight to NLMB's top hitters. The story goes that Mad Max and Crazy James tracked him down, breached the building, and caught him lacking in the cut. They ran straight up on him in that tight hallway and put it directly on his brain. Posto was rushed to Northwestern in critical condition, but by 11:50 p.m., he was gone. The disrespect that followed was diabolical. NLMB didn't just claim to work, they turned his name into a brand of smoke. They birthed the infamous Posto pack, mocking him heavy across the net. G Herbo locked it into drill history forever on his computer's freestyle, spitting the coldest line of the era. Smoking Eastside OG, that's Posto pack. Drink so much lean might OD or have a Posto tack.
Smoking Eastside OG, that's Posto pack. Drink so much lean, might OD or have a Posto tack.
From that day on, KTS and Lakeside started repping Posto gang in his honor. By 2013, KTS Von was moving completely reckless. When he slid on Sirconn City, or NLMB, he wasn't checking for IDs. Word on the streets is that he allegedly took out 2 innocent bystanders on 2 separate drills, just because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time. Von had a demonic rule in the field: leave no witnesses. If you were in the way, you got caught up in the rain. No mercy, all in, every single time. In just a 3-year stretch, Von was allegedly sitting on 8 bodies, and only God knows the real number hidden in the dark. The ops hated him with a passion. They wanted him off the board bad. NLMB members would constantly swarm his Instagram comments, mocking him and baiting him. And by 2014, they almost got their wish. Early that year, Von got booked and sat in the county for a minute, but he was right back on the block by mid-2014. Not long after he touched down, Crazy James and a few other NLMB steppers spotted Von walking with the homie. They pulled up tight, and Crazy James opened up, catching Von directly in his chest before the whip ghosted. Von spent weeks fighting for his life in the hospital. The slug sat right next to his heart, but bro was built different. He pulled through. Meanwhile, 12 was applying major pressure to the family. While Dre was in and out of the county, that same year, Von's blood brother, KTS Vinnie, got booked on an aggravated battery charge. The judge handed him a heavy 14-year sentence. 2015, the East Side was a straight war zone. KTS Von hadn't even fully healed from that slug next to his heart. By early 2015, Von was entirely numb, drowning out the paranoia and the pain with heavy drugs, popping pills, fighting demons, and living like tomorrow wasn't promised. Von hopped on YouTube and started dropping heat. First came Street Life, giving the net a raw look into his world. But then he dropped the big one, Kill to Survive. That track wasn't just music, it was a straight-up war declaration, naming names and mocking his dead ops on a different level of disrespect.
Bitch from the purge, where the Glocks load up. No lack, a little bitch looked up. I submerged in the streets, I was made on the block. I was raised over east. Cut those shorty, I'm a beast. Cut those shorty, I'm a vet. I remember going crazy with the tech. So no mercy got tatted on my face. Cut those gon' take a nigga soul. Damn, cut those heart so froze. Cut those don't love no hope. Cause a bitch ain't shit on mo. Play crazy, only thing I know. Play crazy like guns don't blow. Play crazy like a ass can't die. Put your ass in the sky.
The net went crazy. The views instantly started running up into the millions because the trenches knew every single bar was backed by real-life action. It became the definitive anthem of the East Side drill scene. But in this game, your biggest hit can be your curtain call. Nobody knew it yet, but Kill to Survive was going to be the last track Von ever gave the streets. The clock was officially ticking. June 23rd, 2015, 2:05 in the afternoon. The clock finally ran out for KTS Von. When you live by the gun and rack up that many enemies, your day isn't a question of if, it's just when. Von was walking down the 7,500 block of South Ellis, solo, completely out of his mind on pills, fighting demons in broad daylight. He never saw the whip pull up. Two shooters hopped out and stood directly over him, pumping 25 slugs into his body and head to make sure the East Side demon wasn't getting back up. He was pronounced dead right there. He was only 21. But because Von did so much damage in the trenches, everybody wanted the stripes for dropping him. To this day, the streets are split on who was actually behind that work. The heaviest rumor on the block points straight to NLMB. The word is Chopper, Jock, Mally, and Mad Max were out op shopping when they caught Von lacking. Mally and Max allegedly hopped out the SUV and did the dirty work. The net went to a frenzy the next day. NLMB started mocking Von online and in their tracks. Mad Max even changed his IG bio to Big No Limit the Smoker. Chopper uploaded videos from that exact night, later admitting they had to lay low in the safe house for a whole month because 12 had the city too hot. Mad Max eventually caught up as a get-back in 2018 when Hell Rel from KTS and Lakeside chased him down and stood over him. But Chopper and Mally, they're still walking the streets. The second story circulating the porch is that Sirconn City did the hit, or that Von got backdoored by EBC, his pop set, which the actual CPD report hints at. Rumors claim a girl dropped Von's load to the ops. Pockettown believed the Sirconn rumors early on. Just 4 days after Von fell, Pockettown slid on Sirconn for get back, executing Lil Eric from Sirconn. But the cutthroats themselves eventually told Sirconn to stop chasing clout, openly telling them to stop claiming a body they didn't drop. The final whisper in the dark is that 4 Vice Lord OGs handled the hit. Word on the street is 3 of those members have already been put in the dirt, and the last one survived and is moving incredibly smart, knowing the cutthroats never forget. When the news hit the block, Kts Dre completely lost it. His little blood brother, the other half of the demonic duo, was gone. Dre didn't mourn. He loaded up. That exact same day, Dre grabbed his gun and went on a blind rampage, sliding through the East Side. He even bragged about it later on an IG Live, admitting he blew his pipe till it was empty trying to get back for his brother, forcing him to go on the run from 12. Shots tore through Terrortown within hours of Von's death. The war wasn't over. It was just getting started.
To tell on myself? Y'all want me to say something to incriminate myself? Y'all want me to go to jail forever for the rest of my life? I don't gotta do that shit, bro. It's public information. When my little brother died, I went on a run the same day for using weapons, nigga. Fuck you talking about? Freak hoe. Y'all just be wanting to talk, nigga.
July 2016. Just 1 year after KTS Von passed away, the curse hit his bloodline again. This time, it found his pops, Big Vinnie. The hit went down in the 6,600 block of South Michigan Avenue over in Park Manor. Big Vinnie was sitting in a parked whip with a 22-year-old daughter when the devil came knocking. A shooter approached the car and let it spray, catching Big Vinnie 5 times. He died right there in the front seat. The daughter took 3 bullets, but somehow survived. But the real crazy part of the story? It wasn't an outside set that did it. It was a back door. The shooter was Devontae Murray, aka Rasta, from the exact same set as Big Vinnie, EBC. He was later booked and put away after a witness sitting right in the back seat of that car pointed him out to the law. Word on the porch says Big Vinnie's death was tied directly to Von's murder. Word is, Big Vinnie knew his son was too smart to get caught lacking without help. He openly suspected the OGs from EBC of dropping Von's location and backdooring his boy. Big Vinnie started pressing the issue, digging around in the dark, and went to confront them about the betrayal. Instead of answers, they gave him slugs. They clapped the father to cover up what they did to the son. For Kts Dre, this wasn't just another loss. Big Vinnie wasn't just Von's pops. He was a second father to Dre, the man who guided them through the madness of the East Side. Losing Von broke Dre's heart, but losing Big Vinnie in a back door turned his heart completely cold. Between 2016 and 2019, 12 had a massive target on Dre's back. The state wanted him off the blocks bad, locking him down on house arrest and cycling him right through the county jail. In 2018, he caught a case for child endangered, then got bagged for driving without a license just months later. 2 weeks after that, he was back in jail for domestic battery. By early 2019, they popped him again with a narcotics charge. But you can't lock a demon in a cage for long. The moment Dre caught a whiff of freedom, he went right back to terrorizing the East Side. On August 14, 2019, a No Limit member named Kenneth Summers, aka Magic, was chilling on the 7,800 block of South Essex. He was standing outside a silver Camry talking to a 30-year-old head, while a female sat in the back seat. Out of nowhere, 2 light-colored whips bent the corner. The windows rolled down and they let it spray. Magic took the brunt of the lead, catching multiple slugs to his body and his head. He was rushed to the hospital, but he didn't make it, dead at just 26. The other 2 people in the car caught slugs but managed to survive the drill. The streets instantly knew whose work this was, but the paperwork laid it all out. Kts Dre was the prime suspect for the murder. Word on the porch is Dre didn't slide alone. The streets say he brought Rio G from KTS and Pockettown with him, and heavy hitters like Killa, Spook, Lil Don, and Big Mex were riding shotgun to ensure the job got done. The net went brutal the next morning. Lakeside, KTS, and Pockettown started clowning NLMB online.
The only name he can say is K-Dog.
Look down and turn the camera on. We can't turn the camera on Magic, bro. You can't turn it on Kenneth, man.
Hey, that's your big talk, boy. I'm gonna just say Magic. Magic. Nothing for him. He's 73rd, pal. I don't even know him. You know him, little bro?
Don't let that go off your head, man. Just Magic.
For he be whooping at me in my DM, for I don't even know him, for he just came out of nowhere teething at me, bro.
Lolo, just stop, please. Just stop. Stop what?
Hold on. He got shot with his gun, folks. I told him.
Oh, this Lolo?
Yeah, folks.
Oh my
God,
God, you still talking to me.
He got shot on
You that got shot with your gun, dropped your head, all kinds of looking stupid out there.
They took his ass to South Shore.
You still talking.
You talking about, you said, Lil Art, just stop. Okay, Lil, you just stop there. You just stop there. Mr. Pal.
Get your ass shot 50.
They let him, they gonna do that with
Magic was the big brother of Flock from No Limit, and Flock later hinted that Magic might have been backdoored by someone in his own circle. But the wildest detail in the entire police file? 12 stated they tracked down the exact hit whip just 24 hours later, and they caught Dre inside the car, mid-action, caught up with a female. The man had just executed a top factor from his rival set, and the very next day he was using the exact same murder car as a bedroom. By April 2020, Kts Dre was already on parole as a felon when they caught him at a gas station. 12 boxed him in, but Dre wasn't going out easy. He locked his doors and turned it into a whole standoff right there by the pumps. When they finally smashed through and dragged him out, it took a whole squad of officers to wrestle him to the concrete. Dre fought them tooth and nail until his nose was leaking blood, but 12 found what they were looking for, a dirty pipe in the whip. They hit him with that unlawful use of a weapon and aggravated assault, sending him straight back to the county jail. Dre touched down in late November 2020. He was right back on IG Lives by December, barking at No Limit and showing his face on the block. Just 3 months after Dre touched down, KTS caught his biggest score of 2021. It all started over a female. A Pockettown member named Freeband Bobo was chilling inside a barbershop on South State Street when NLMB Lil Greg walked in. The minute they locked eyes, the air went cold. Greg saw Bobo and immediately called up his people at No Limit, asking if Bobo was a problem and looking for the green light to handle him right there. Word is, Cairo told him to chill, saying Bobo was just a money getter and wasn't a factor like that. Greg called a different No Limit faction trying to get that green light again, but they told him to stand down. Bobo claims he didn't even know who Greg was or that they were dealing with the same girl. But Greg was a top face, right next to G Herbo in all the videos. Either way, that barbershop tension set the ultimate trap. On January 28th, 2021, the bill came due. Greg was back in that same barbershop, reportedly catching a nap in the chair, completely unaware. A 2010 Volvo SUV pulled up hot outside. A hitter masked up, hopped out the whip, and walked straight into the shop. He didn't say a word, just walked up, tapped Greg's head, and left him right there in that chair. The shooter ran back to the Volvo and the ride took off, but 12 caught up to the whip minutes later. They booked the driver, CK from Pockettown, with a Glock and a drum. The paperwork didn't name the shooter right away, but sources who saw that surveillance tape say the body type and the movement spelled out one name, Kts Dre. The streets say Spook, Lil Don, and Big Mex were in that drill too, but Dre was the one who pulled that trigger. Taking out a top No Limit factor like Greg in broad daylight was the ultimate disrespect. And it's the exact reason the get back that came later was so brutally out of this world. The minute Greg dropped, the whole east side went up in flames. 12 immediately put out alerts across the city saying major get back was on the way. The feds were already posted up on the block, keeping tabs on that old black mob war and the shooter shell situation. But after Greg, the FBI shifted their entire lens straight onto NLMB and Pockettown. They ended up scooping 9 members from the town. The day after the barbershop hit, it looked like a war zone. No Limit, Black Mob, and MTG were all trading shots across the east side on the exact same day. NLMB was spinning the town in KTS blocks back to back, looking for anything that breathed. For 2 straight months, Pockettown had to go ghost. Main factors were ducking the heat, bouncing from block to block, especially with the feds moving in trying to build the case. But you can't outrun the streets forever, and by late March 2021, the cycle caught up. Pockettown tried to gather on the block to throw a birthday celebration for Kevo, who had passed a year before. They thought they were safe to show love, but NLMB already had their low pinned. The party got ambushed. Out of nowhere, the hitters let it spray on the crowd, turning Kevo Day into a nightmare. Denny G and Lord both took shells, but managed to pull through. Killer Spook wasn't so lucky. Spook was a certified stepper for KTS in Pockettown, a real member who was tight with KTS Von and KTS Dre, but they caught him slipping at the function and left him dead right there. Word on the street is Big Op and Lil Ro from NLMB, alongside Emo and Lil B from the Burley Boys, were the ones on that drill. Taking Spook off the board was a major blow to KTS in the town.
My boys say we get dangerous, we don't get careful.
Real dangerous, we don't be careful out here, man. We real dangerous, man.
Dangerous gang. Hey, man, we be dangerous gang. Ain't no more careful, bitch.
Do it, mama. Tell you, boy. Hey, look it on me.
Yeah.
Oh, Rio G, I don't know, boy. How you coming, big? Executive Rio out here. Yeah.
The right way.
July 10th, 2021. This is the day the streets still talk about. The day the war hit a level nobody had ever seen. Dre's OG bonded him out by dropping 5 racks. He walked out of Cook County Jail thinking he was finally touching the free world, strapped with an ankle monitor, walking side by side with his 60-year-old mother and a 35-year-old street activist. But Dre had no clue that the ultimate trap was already set right outside the county gates. A white BMW and a black Infiniti were parking in the shadows, waiting. The exact minute Dre crossed over to the 2700 block of West 27th Street, the hit squad popped out the cut. 4 or 5 masked up shooters hopped out the whips and just started emptying their mags. It wasn't regular shooting. It was a total hail of lead. The sound of switches tore the air apart, letting off dozens of rounds per second. Dre hit the concrete instantly, but they didn't stop. They stood over him and kept pulling the trigger, turning the front of the jail into a pure slaughterhouse. One witness even heard a hitter scream, "Let's go, let's go," while the other was still standing there cold-blooded, pumping lead into Dre's body. When the smoke cleared, it looked like a literal nightmare. 12 recovered 59 spent shell casings from the pavement. The state claimed Dre caught 64 bullet wounds, but the streets know the paperwork counts entry and exit holes. The real number he caught was around 32, with at least 10 of them tearing right through his face. They wanted to make absolutely sure he wasn't coming back. To pull off a drill like that right in front of the jail, where cameras are flashing, 12 is rolling deep, and transport vans are moving 24/7, shows you exactly how high of a price was on Dre's head. He was a menace to his rivals, a top-tier threat. His mom took a slug to the knee, and the activist got grazed right in the face, but they both managed to survive at Stroger Hospital. Dre didn't have a chance. At 9:25 p.m., King Cutthroat was pronounced dead at Mount Sinai. He was only 31.
Found after the shooting of a rapper right outside the Cook County Jail.
Superintendent Brown using this case and that situation as a reason to push for keeping violent offenders in jail. Elizabeth Matthews is live at CPD headquarters with more. Elizabeth?
Sally and Anthony, the superintendent, showing his shock and dismay that this violent repeat offender was let out of jail this weekend. The 31-year-old did have to post bond, and as a condition of posting that bond was going to have to be on electronic monitoring. But Superintendent David Brown says that is simply not enough. Leandre Sylvester was released from jail Saturday night and was targeted, fatally shot right outside of the Cook County Jail. Police say there were 59 shell casings on scene. 2 women were also wounded, though not seriously. The Chicago rapper was released after posting a $5,000 bond with a condition that he would be on electronic monitoring yet again. He was in jail for violating his bond following several weapons, assault, and habitual criminal charges.
All these prior arrests, these serious felonies, these very violent crimes didn't keep him in jail. And it created an unsafe environment for others to put him on electronic monitoring.
The wildest part? Before he got locked up, folks on IG Live used to tell Dre to pack his bags and flee the city, warning him they were going to catch him. Dre would just look at the screen, cold as ice, and say, "They wish they did." He really thought he had the blueprint on how to move, but the streets always collect. His OG had already lost the other son, KTS Von, and their father, Big Vinnie, to this cycle. Weeks later, she hopped on Facebook and dropped a heartbreaking bar, saying it was sad she couldn't even give her son a proper funeral. Not because of money, but because of the absolute lack of respect. Word is the family was straight up terrified that the ops were gonna slide and spray the funeral home too. And the get back for Lil Greg didn't stay silent. Usually hitters stay low after a federal level drill, but Drench Gang and NLMB turned the internet into a pure confession booth. The streets say the ride was packed with top factors like Big Op, Little Hot, Moo Wop, Fearro, Twino, Cairo, Flock, and Merch Money. Big Op hopped straight in the studio for a remix, rapping about jumping out with sticks and splitting dudes' shit while the joke stopped. Cairo posted a picture with Big Op, captioning it that once they put a dude on mute, he never talks again. But Moo Wop went the craziest with the disrespect. The very next day, he was on IG calling Dre the pack of the year. He and Cairo even started publicly trolling on social media, saying they wanted to buy a Nintendo 64, a direct demonic reference to the 64 shots the police claimed Dre caught outside the jail. This is the story of two Chicago street legends, KTS Von and KTS Dre. R.I.P. to both of them, and rest in peace to every single soul that lost their life in this story. The cycle never stops, and if you want to see more docs like this, go check out the No Limit Little Wet story. It's already live on the channel. You're locked in with Hood Edition. We out.